Hello and welcome to a brand new show, Inside the Actor, a show where you get an exclusive insight into your favorite star's life. In our very first episode, we have someone who left the cushy corporate job of Wall Street in New York for the glamour-struck bylanes of Mumbai. Films, television and ramp, he has found acceptance and awards everywhere. Handsome, suave and with a huge female following, he is Samir Soni.
Yay.
Hello, Samir.
Hi, Manisha. Thanks for having me here.
Ages that I've met you. So how's life been?
Lots been happening.
Okay.
Just moved to a new house. All right. Got a 11-month daughter. I'm doing this show which requires me to work about 10 hours every day, plus 3 hours of commuting, and 25, 28 days a month. I think I'm at my best right now. I think God is being kind. I think I entered the industry back in 94, 95. So that's roughly 18 years. Where I wanted to be comfortable with myself, I am that. But now that I'm getting what I wanted, I find myself too old to keep up with it. So it's the game God plays that, finally your dreams are answered, but you're too old to enjoy them. They say slow and steady wins the race.
I don't think you're old.
I'm old. I feel old. I'm all grey here.
Well, the huge female following, fan following that you have doesn't indicate that you're old from any angle.
Female following.
And it's huge. We can tell you that. We get innumerable Twitter messages and Facebook messages ask that when is Kunal Chopra coming back in Parichai Season 2 and if Parichai Season 2 is coming back or not.
Parichai, I don't know if it's coming back or not.
Would you want to do it?
I wanted to do it. I love the character. I like playing characters. I mean, this thing of getting into acting was that as a person, I tend to be a little introvertish and awkward. And even when I was in school, I was a little scared, apprehensive, and I would kind of sit in the corner. And then when I acted for the first time, and I was 8 years old, I remember exactly.
So what did you act in?
A teacher came into our classroom and said, how do you want to sing? I couldn't sing. So I said, okay. He said, Res, you go to theatre. Okay. My teacher was Barry John. Okay. My first exercise was to pretend you're waking up and getting ready to go to school. So I said, okay, okay. So you lie down, you wake up, you yawn, you stretch, you brush your teeth, you scratch your head. And for the first time in my life, I felt alive. I felt as if I was free. Because that wasn't me anymore. It was just somebody else doing it. And whatever I wanted to do or say, I could say and do through that person. And that was liberation for me. I transformed. I was like, I love this. This is what I want to do. And that was it. And I said, this is what I want to do. And
but you were 8 years old and you knew that you wanted to be an actor. Then how did you get into investment banking?
I come from a family where, middle-class family, nothing special, nothing spectacular, but whatever we wanted, we pretty much got it. But it wasn't on a silver spoon. We learned the value of money. So academics was very important in our life, that you need to, study. Typical Punjabi family. Pehle padhai likhai kar lo, phir jo karna hai karte rehna. And my brother was in finance, who was in Chicago at that time. So they said, if you want to be an actor, you should go to the best school in acting, which at that time was University of California, Los Angeles. I went to US and I decided to double major in economics and acting. So surprisingly or whatever, I was doing really well in studies. So parents were very happy. Said, "Arey wah, I'm getting straight A's." So they said, do this acting, you can do any time. So karte, I finished my graduation. I specialized in finance. And I said, I want to act. Oh, you can do it. Just study first now. I said, okay. So I did that. And then there were on-campus interviews. So these investment banking companies came and they interviewed. And I said whatever I had to say and, find this or. And I got an offer for the Wall Street. A job in Wall Street as a financial analyst. And I was just thinking of the joke. I said, whatever. And my brother, who's also in finance, who's actually brilliant himself, always wanted to work on the Wall Street. And he never got a chance. So he said, oh, you're going to be on the Wall Street? Great, come on. So I'm like, but I want to act. He says, but you can act anytime. So very regrettingly, grudgingly, I got into investment banking. I worked for 2 years and I couldn't have been more miserable in my life. But I was unhappy. Every 6 months, this thing would come into me, Acha, acting karni hai. I want to go be an actor. And then I would pacify myself, wo hota rahega. I wrote a letter to my dad. This is like one of the big things. I said, Dad, I don't want to be 40 years old, having 2 kids, and telling them and boring the hell out of them, telling them that their dad could have been a big actor, but he didn't have enough guts to do it.
Super.
So I said, I'd rather try, and I read this somewhere, which stuck with me, that you may or may not regret what you do, but you never regret what you do. Because you don't want, if you fail, you fail. But if you never try it, you keep wondering the rest of your life, that, what if I had tried?
Yeah, wish I had done it.
Wish I'd done it. So that was it. I packed my bags, came home, and my parents were in serious depression. So that was the story of investment banking and acting started.
So when you got into acting, one of the roles that made you really popular was Purab in Jassi Jaisi Koi Nahi, which actually got more popularity than even Arman. So how did you react to all this popularity? You were a celebrity in your own right.
It was a good time. When Jassi came my way, at that time, I had just, my Bagban had just released.
Right.
Okay. And first, when I got the offer to play Bagban's role, I said no. I said, I'm not going to play one single role, one villain character out of 4 brothers. I still had my ego. I'm going to be a star.
You've always been picky about your roles.
Yes.
Very picky.
Extremely picky, yeah. I can't live with myself otherwise. It's just me. That's my nature. Maybe I'm just scared. People will say, what nonsense is he doing? So I said no to Bagban. They said, okay, anyway. They convinced me. So I said, I'll do the role as long as I get to play the son, which has maximum scenes with Amit ji.
Okay.
Which happened.
Okay.
So in my life, that was a compromise. He was a guy who left Wall Street, wanted to be a hero. And I was playing one of the 4 brothers in a negative role. It's like, I mean, even though it was Amitabh Bachchan, which is great, but still, in my thing, I had compromise. It's like, okay, as a compromise. And the movie was a big hit.
Huge hit.
I was shocked. I was like, what? I said, okay, this is what God wants. God wants me to be a villain. All right, we'll be a villain. What the hell? I waited for 2 months, not a single call. So I'm like, okay, now what do? I'm kind of going to get nervous here. I'm like, listen, from a hero, I've compromised to be a villain, and now I'm not even getting work. So I was in a very tricky situation. And then I started saying yes to TV. And believe it or not, I must have got about 10 offers for serials. Okay? And I said yes to all.
All 10 serials?
Whichever would come, I said, yes, I'll do it. I said, I was kind of, this zone, I'm angry with God. Okay, God doesn't want me to be a villain. He doesn't want me to be a film star at all. God says, be a TV actor. I said, fine, I will do it.
We never saw you in 10 serials.
Exactly my point. Not one of those 10 shows took up.
Oh.
Not one. There was one show I said yes to. Next morning, we were supposed to shoot and got cancelled. And instantly, that time, my parents were visiting me. And I remember, it's a true story. I was sitting on the beach at night, and I was crying. I'm like, what do you want? You don't want me to be a hero? I compromised. I became a villain. You don't want me to be a villain? I compromised. You want me to be a TV actor? I said yes to 10. Now what? What do you want me to do? Right? And I was heartbroken. I was crying, and I was like, oh. And I was away because I didn't want my parents to see me like that. So anyway, I went home, and next day I get this call from some show for 6 days to go to Alibag. So I said, "Theek hai yaar, at least I'll get out of the house." Fine.
Change of scene.
Change of scene, change of atmosphere and stuff like that. I said, okay, fine. I said, I'll do it. This is 6 days, a guest appearance. I said, all right. I said, what's the show? He said, Jassi Jaisi Koi Nahi. I had never seen it. Because at that time period, we still looked down on TV. So I said, Jassi Jaisi Koi Nahi. I said, pata nahi hai kya show hai yaar. I told my friends, hey, acha show hai. I said, pata nahi yaar, I haven't seen it. That's how I said yes to, in that mindset, I said yes to Jassi. And when they narrated my character, and I looked at the producer and I said, you'll be in trouble. Because I see something in this character that you will have tough time protecting your other characters.
Because Purab did become far more popular than Arman. And that's a fact.
They actually did a poll that who would you want Jassi to go with Purab or with Arman, and Purab won. And I celebrated. I was like, yeah.
So now Cough begins Ringa Ringa Roses.
Yeah, long one, no?
Long one. And a very unusual genre for you to take.
Yeah.
I never imagined Samir Soni in a paranormal kind of show. So how did that happen?
It's simple. I don't look at genres. To me, the main thing is character. Does the character say something that I want to say? Can I experience something which I in normal life will not experience, and I can experience it through the character? It's about freedom. It's about me living that. I'll be doing it 25 days a month, 10 hours a day. Would I like to be that? Okay, and so when they narrated, so that's the thing. So the genre I never thought about.
Right. So tell me that Bollywood, you did a lot of films
Well, not a lot, but okay.
that were good, that made a mark.
yeah.
Okay, from Viva to Bagban. If given a choice in the ideal world, would it be Bollywood or would it be TV?
If I'm Salman Khan or Shah Rukh Khan, I'd be in Bollywood. Bollywood is great if you're on the top.
True, but
if you're not on the top, it's not good for you. Right now, even if the biggest of the biggest directors would approach me with a film, I'll think 10 times.
Okay.
You know, and it's the nature of the business. I mean, you've been a producer yourself, so it's in terms of, I mean, if you make a calculation, to make one film, an actor probably would give about 40 days. If you're a main lead, 50 days maybe, tops.
Right.
You're not required more than that. If you're again a main lead, you probably can't do more than 2 films in a year. I don't see Shah Rukh or Salman or anybody else,
Right.
Akshay, do more than 2 films. So at best, you're working 100 days in a year. And my question is, what are you doing for the rest of the 265 days? Those days kill me. I gave a lot of my life to that. A lot of years I spent waiting. You do a film, I did fashion, and everyone was like, oh, wow, man, you're so good, and I got these great write-ups and stuff like that. Then what happens? I've shot for 30 days. I wait for 8 months for film to release, and people to say, oh, you're good, and then wait for somebody to write a role for me. So I'm sitting here, so I spend most of my time waiting than doing what I really love. That doesn't make sense.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
Sitting at home and doing nothing.
Exactly, which is the way the business works. I mean, you can't do anything about it. That's just the way it is.
But in fashion, you played a very bold character,
Yeah.
Samir. I need to ask you,
Yeah.
were you ever hit on after that by men?
Why after that?
Before that?
Of course.
And how do you react?
I just give them a hug. I have fun. It's always fun when you go to a function or a party or something, and then you know someone's gay, and they're giving you this little extra attention than they ought to be giving you. So if someone's giving me, I'll just give them a hug and say, hey man, what's up?
Okay, so Big Boss. What made you do self-eviction in Big Boss?
Oh man, Salman's gonna kill me. Okay, anyway, this is the situation. Our show is going along pretty well. In comes Dolly Bindra, all right? Who's a fine lady. I met her outside the house, and she's really sweet and very loving and very affectionate and everything. She's fine. But for some strange reason, she was just doing these things which were causing a lot of problems. So she was doing it, and everyone got scared and stuff like that. And I hate fear. Fear is one thing I hate the most because I think it diminishes you. You become nothing. So whenever I get scared, I'm like, okay, man, I want to stand up. I love, who's going to bell the cat? I love doing that. That's why I'm not very popular with my bosses. So anyway, she was doing all this stuff, but Big Boss in my way, were protecting her. All right? And which is understandable because she was getting us the TRPs, because she was giving us masala. We guys were boring. What was I doing? I was doing nothing or sleeping or whatever. So Dolly did get a lot of entertainment for the people outside, but for inside it became kind of difficult to be because there was
Very
all these
difficult to survive.
Yeah, because they were shouting and screaming and abusing and this and this, and then for whatever reason she and Shweta had whatever they had. So I stood up because I was fed up of people shying away. And you have a guy Khali who's 7 feet tall, wasn't doing anything. So I said, what nonsense. So I stood up and she physically kind of hit me or whatever.
Okay.
All right. Now, I won't say how severe it was, but there was a physical contact, which to me was good because she had crossed the line. All right. So I said, okay, you can say anything you want, you can abuse anything you want, but you can't hit people because then where do you stop? Tomorrow you're doing it, then next day Khali does, I'll be out of the house, man.
You need to draw the line somewhere.
Exactly. So that's when I went to Big Boss and I said, look, I don't feel safe. You got to do something. I don't feel safe. Then Big Boss says, okay, and thought about it. He says, well, you provoked her also. So I think there was a little game going on. I think that because they didn't want Dolly to go. I'm saying this on TV. Shit.
They wanted you to actually go for self-eviction. They prompted that.
No, hear this out. So I went to them and they said, well, you provoked her as well. I said, okay, fine. So what's your decision? I said, I don't feel safe, very honestly. Because in that, even Khali kind of pushed me away. But it's not that it was hurtful, but you didn't want to take too many chances because things get a little heated up sometimes.
Right.
So Big Boss came with a very interesting thought, which was very smart. And the Big Boss people are very intelligent, very good. They said, well, she did what she did. You also provoked her. Therefore, both are guilty. So you either both stay or both leave. Okay.
So they cornered you.
So Yeah, so they're trying to play this game with me now. They said, "Acha, he'll think that, अरे मैं भी चला जाऊँगा." I said, "Okay, I'll go." So I said, "Fine, if that's the question, I agree to go. Come." And then they didn't talk. So I kept waiting. I said, "Big boss, I need your decision. You asked us either both stay or both go. I'm willing to go. Let's go. What's the issue?" And they tried to pacify me, and that's when I took the mic off. Then I said, okay. And the next day, I think Pamela Anderson was coming in.
Okay.
In that thing. So they wanted things to subside. Basically, they thought, Dolly's good for the show. Even I hopefully was good for the show. And everything, they wanted us to settle down. But this awkward situation had come up. Okay, and I wasn't willing to let go of this. This is the rebellious streak in me.
Yeah, rebellious, stubborn streak in you.
I'm stubborn as hell. I mean, if I think I'm right, I'm on principles, then I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll chop my nose to spite my face. I'll do it. So, and then they said, oh, tomorrow some guest is coming, so you can do it. So all night I was thinking, what is this going on? So basically what they want is that you pacify and carry on.
They were buying time.
They were buying time and waiting for Pamela to come and things to settle on the show to move on, which is fine. But not fine for me. I said, all right, next morning I got my stuff together and I sat at the gate. I said, you had said that either you both go or you both stay. I had said we both go. Then why aren't we going?
Right.
Because they were scared of losing Dolly as well, who was giving the entertainment. So that's when I took the mic off and I sat there. I said, all right, man. This is Mahatma Gandhi thing happening. This is a vote of no confidence. You want to throw me out, which is fine. It was your decision. I didn't say it.
And I need to go.
Here you go. So then, then the whole drama thing happened. And then when I went out, they said, okay, look, she's out. Would you want to come in? And Salman said, look, but you were on the right. It's okay. And then that's how I came in. That was the real story.
Are you watching this season's Big Boss?
Off and on, off and on.
So who do you think will win this season?
I don't know. I thought I should have won.
Not in this season. We need to know who's going to win this season.
I don't know. I don't know how it works, really. I think it's an entertainment show. Okay. A lot of people ask me this question, that is it scripted?
Is it?
It's not scripted. You're not told to do anything. You are you. It brings the best out of you and the worst out of you. But there are 24 hours of footage. There are about 60, 80 cameras running 24 hours. So you have footage of hundreds of hours. What you show is your prerogative. I reached so far and people liked me because they thought I was good, right? But fact is, the bad gets the TRPs. It's a sheer reflection on our society. It's appalling. I'm appalled.
But who are your favorite characters in this season?
I should like Apoorv Agnihotri. I think he's a sweet chap.
But he's out now.
Yeah, he's out.
There's Tanisha, there's Arman, there's Andy, there's...
I like Andy to win.
Andy.
Why not?
He's my favorite too.
Why not?
Yeah, I want Andy to win. I think he's very cute.
He's a sweet guy.
Yeah.
He seems like he's a little bitchy in a nice, sweet way. I'm already practicing my dialogues with her. What I'm going to tell her and how I'm going to tell her, I'm already practicing.
So, Neelam and you.
Yeah, you know me.
I read Ekta played Cupid.
Yes, she did. Ekta was the one who kind of planted the seed. At her house we met, spoke for the first time and the second time, so yeah. The day my divorce came in and I had to go to the court to pick the papers was the same day my first film released and the premiere was.